Hello, Arfan. Great to have you on. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me here for this interview. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good, thank you. Out here in rainy England.
Can relate. Okay, so the reason I invited you on is because I saw a win in the Amazon FBA channel
Yeah,
that you've launched a private label, if that is
correct.
correct, that is generating you over $10,000 per month. So
Yeah,
I would like to go into that a bit later.
yeah.
But for now, I'd like to start with what was your background before you joined the real world? What were you doing?
So we we're a middle class family. I'm a chemical engineer. So I did my degree, did my master's, just like everybody else. Got a 9 to 5 job, doing quite well in it. Um, Married, got 2 kids. Um, so yeah, that's my background. Saw FBA years ago before it even became a thing. So I had always had interest in it, dwelled in it before I joined the real world. And that's, yeah, really, I mean, I'm from Luton, England.
Interesting. So, same place as where the Tates grew up. Did that have any kind of influence over you?
Yeah, it's funny when Andrew and Tristan started blowing up on social media. I personally didn't know them, but the guys around me, they did. I had one of my good friends that I see pretty much every day. He's got a clothes shop called Basement, and Tristan used to always be there. He's showing me like Facebook messages with Tristan. Tristan used to always get the freshest clothes. And like they're a couple of years older than me. I'm 33, so they're a couple of years older than me. So the boys know them really, really well. And from what I've heard, that they're good, down to earth people. You're just very switched on characters.
That's really cool. Didn't expect that. How did you find out about the Tates yourself?
To be honest, I I didn't really like sort of it was just through TikTok really. And that was it, to be honest. And like obviously some of his podcasts are really polarizing. So obviously there's a lot of comical content out there which you obviously enjoy. And then there are a lot of the lines like, what color is your Bugatti, that you use with your friends. So it was just like that.
My God. And through those TikToks is how you found out about the real world or some other way?
Yeah.
Okay. And what made you decide to join it?
To be honest, I've always been someone who's very open-minded. If there's some resource, I'd like to go check it out. I don't like to hear other people's per se. I'll use my own mind. Um, $49 a month is nothing really. So I thought, let me go in there. I'll basically scope it all out, and if it's good, it's good. If not, I'll just leave. That was it really.
Okay. And you've joined, let's say, first time you join, see all the campuses in front of you. Did you
Yeah.
choose to go into Amazon FBA as the first campus? Did you go through other
So Amazon
campuses?
FBA, I already knew. So I was like, do you know what? I know that, then put that aside. Let me go see the other campuses. So I went through all the other campuses and I thought, and then when I say I scoped out. So copywriting, and I thought, not my thing, right? I was interested in stocks and crypto, especially crypto, because it blew up last year and the year before. So I went through that. And then I would happily say, confidently say that because of the real world, I would say I've got more knowledge on crypto than I'd say 80% of its users. Just because like it's so simple, but everyone just like hopes and believes in it. Same when it comes to stocks. Like I'm sure you've seen on Instagram or TikTok, you follow these traders or they're giving you like all these different trends to follow. It's all a load of crap, really. Like you're in there, it's concise information. Um, what else have they got? They got marketing, or you say e-commerce. E-commerce is fantastic, to be honest. Like really, really good. Freelancing really that I was really interested in one. And then I went into Amazon FBA. That was for me to be able to sort of fact checked it because I've got like I said, a wealth of experience. So when I went in there and I saw what the chat was saying, I had a few exchanges with the mentor as well there, or the professor. And I was like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Like this is good.
So, when you say you went to the Amazon FBA campus to fact check your previous knowledge, did you learn anything new? Were there any new insights?
Yeah, for example, like, okay, how are we finding a product now? Okay, what kind of rank do we need? How do you go about launching a product? talking about the advertisement as well. Like I always knew about these things. And like I mentioned, I had experience before. So for example, I was doing FBA back in 2016. So I already had a product, I'd already launched it. I would say I wasn't really say I was successful, to be honest. And so one of the first things I did was I went to the professor and I said, Professor, this is what I'm doing. What do you think? He basically said in the lines of, because they won't tell you what to do. Mind you, the real world is just a whole lot of resource. So they'll advise you. And this advice was scrap it, start again. And to be honest, best thing to be honest, because I made more money in my first month than I pretty much ever made, to be honest.
And is that in your first month that you got to 10,000, over
Yeah, yeah,
$10,000 in revenue?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I'd never done $10,000 before.
very nice. So will be interesting to see how that scales in future.
Yeah, I hope that's really well.
How did the community affect you? Did that have any impact?
So the community is there are people from different age ranges, and they're all quite driven because everyone wants to succeed. And like to be honest, like the good thing about it is that you'll have people in there who will, like, say if you're shy and you're timid, you'll have people in there who will basically ask the dumb questions for you. So again, it's just resource. Just go through the chats, find what you're looking for, and then just do your thing. But really, really, there are people who are like doing really, really well in the Wins channel, and that should really sort of like, and they're all young. They're quite young, to be honest. So like, it's like if they can do it, why can't you do it? It has to kind of fit your narrative, right? So for example, like I said, like the real world is really good. They're like, are you time rich? Are you cash rich? So if you're time rich, go into this one. If you're cash rich, go into this one. So it's really, really good like that. It kind of just places you or tells you where you need to go.
Hmm. Were you looking at the Wins channel when you first started out, or is that something you weren't
Yeah, because
really
I did
looking
want to
at?
see. Okay. For example, when it comes to Amazon FBA, I wanted to see what are people making because I tried it right, and you know I do see all these YouTube channels of people making thousands and thousands of dollars, and I was like, oh, is this actually true? Because obviously I did it, and I wasn't sort of doing as well as them, and I was thinking, oh, how are they actually making money? And then when I saw the Wins channel, and I saw some of the guys doing really, really well on Amazon FBA channel, I thought, okay, let's see, let's delve in further.
Hmm. What was the biggest mistake you made when first starting out?
So first starting out was straight up my product, the product I chose. Another thing is like I tried to run before I could walk. So these are the sort of things that the professors kind of just told me. But one of the biggest things with Amazon FBA, if anyone wants to start, I'll tell you now, just be patient. I was not patient. I expected Lamborghini on my drive the next day. But just go be patient with it. Let it run its course. One of the great thing about the real world is they're very real with you in terms of like, okay, if you're doing private label, like you have to spend X amount. So let's say it's between 3 grand to 10 grand. That's how much it's going to cost you. So if you haven't got that in the bank, don't bother. If you haven't got income source, don't bother. But that, so they just tell you straight from the off, and they don't tell you like, oh, you're going to make your money back straight away because you have to invest in X amount. So it's like, yeah, it might take you 6 years, 8 months, sorry, 6 months, 8 months, you make your money back like that. But the idea is, especially if you're doing private label like I am, is to build a brand which then can go sell on for like 500,000, like 1 million. I've seen some go up for 3 million, 6 million. That's the aim. So they will set a whole route out for you. You just got to follow the process.
And from what you've seen, if someone comes in with zero experience in Amazon FBA, could they get to your position or further?
Yeah, 100%. Like because it's actually quite straightforward. It's quite straightforward. So a lot of people will be there, they're lost. And to be honest, that's with any of the campuses. You go in there, you're lost, you're trying to figure it out. They will just say to you, look, this is what you got to do. And like you could just go in there and say, look, I can't find the product. How do you find the product? You can have the dialogue. There'll be so many people in there giving you ideas. You just go there, you find your product, and then you just crack on with it. You have to have a kind of a gut feeling. Like I said, like it's resource. You just have to believe in yourself and go and apply it.
How has your mindset changed since you've joined? Has there been any effect?
I mean, to be honest, before when you think that you have a target in your head, like I want to make X amount a month, when you're working, you're like, okay, I want to get to this salary, I want to buy these things, whatever. The mindset has kind of shifted. Is like now you want to sort of make generational wealth. You want your kids to be okay. You want your siblings to be okay. You want your parents to be okay. You want to help the community. You want to be a leader in the community. That's how the mindset's kind of changed.
Hmm. And did Tate have any kind of impact on you, especially since he grew up in the same place as you?
But yeah, look, if a young boy from Luton can go and do it, and he took whatever route he had to take it, it just shows you like if you just apply yourself, you just go away, you focus, focus, focus. Because you don't get rich overnight. Tate did not get rich overnight. He was on social media well before, and then he just took off. But he didn't just take off by chance. There was a plan to it. So, like I said, like what the real world helps with is this helps you with a plan because, for example, like you just give me an example, right? Make your money from e-commerce, right? Take it to the stocks channel, take it to the crypto channel, build a skill on the e-commerce channel, take it to freelancing. Like there's just so much you can do with it. And it gives you just a business mindset, like especially like even if you go into e-commerce, um, marketing, amazing. Like marketing applies to any business model, whether you've got a chicken chip shop or you've got an online store.
Hmm. I like that. Now, what were the three biggest lessons you've learned from the real world? Or would you prefer to just do one biggest one?
Yeah, I'll probably just do one biggest one.
Okay. So, yeah, what would that be?
Yeah. So one of the biggest lessons would be is understanding how money works, understanding the reality of businesses. Not to have like the mindset I had was like, okay, I'm gonna, especially with crypto campus, right? People think they're gonna go in there and they're just gonna become millionaires overnight. It's just understanding that everything is time and place, and you just have to position yourself really, really well.
How long would you say it takes to start making money, in your case, with Amazon FBA, for someone who's just started out with zero experience?
So I would say, firstly, with an Amazon account, especially if you're doing private label, you need to get an account. An account verification can take about a month. And during that period, you go do your market research, you go look for your product, you go set your page up, you go in, order your inventory. And so I would say it takes about a month to 2 months to get everything in, get yourself ready, and then you launch. And if you do your launch correctly, then you would make your money in that third month. But just notice that the private label game is one that requires consistency, but I would say, is probably the most rewarding at the end because, like I said, you're building a brand, and a brand has a value.
Okay. In a way, that was advice to people just starting out. Would you have anything else to add in terms of advice to people who have just started out?
So the advice I'd have is be persistent, be driven. Like think about the goals you want in life. So uh, people who know me. I love my cars. I've got four right now in my drive, but I want more. And it's not, oh, I'm trying to follow the tape or whatever, but I just like cars. So have goals in your mind, have reasons why you're doing it. Like you want to buy a house, you want to go on holidays, you don't want to work, and then be persistent and be driven and look and always have a plan. So the resource is open to you. Now it's all about how you apply it. For example, like, oh, I'm too lazy to go on the stock channel, or I don't understand the stock channel. Go ask questions, go make a plan, write it down, go do your research. Again, with the crypto freelancing, just quietly go about your business. One of the most important things I learned on this is just try to learn new skills. When it comes about Amazon FBA, okay, how do you do listing? How do you do photography? How do you do product research? Like I can say, I can go now do freelancing and start charging people a commission for doing that. So it opens another avenue of income. So just be like belligerent because before you know it, life comes at you fast, family, kids, bills, and you don't have time. So now's the time. Just go out there, go make it. Understand where we are. We're in a financial crisis right now. I can give you one snippet from the real world. If it's basically stack your money, just stack your money, because uh, for people who know how to invest, good times are coming.
Hmm. And I would say, since you mentioned recession, what is taught in the real world is recession proof income.
Yeah, 100%. Like people won't go spend their money online. Sorry, they won't go to the shops but they would always spend money online. So the methods of making money on the real world, but basically, like for example, January is always a period where people don't spend much money because they spent those during Christmas and New Year's, but online they continue to do so. And if your product is correct, then like for you, it's just business
Mhm.
as usual, really.
Yep. And now that you're on this trajectory after having joined the real world, where do you see your life heading in 6 months to 1 year?
So yeah, I keep saying I've got a plan, right? So the plan is actually a 2 to 3 year plan. And like I said, it's make enough capital, invest correctly, and come out the other end with, well, the idea is generational wealth, or like just be at a place where I can be like, okay, you know what? I can either sit back and retire, enjoy time with my family, or wait for the next recession and go to the next level. That's it, really. That's the name of the game. At the end of the day, you want to get enough money, look after your family, look after your friends, enough time for your family, enjoy life.
I'm really happy with how this went. Before we end, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just like I'm just going to build on the advice that I just mentioned. Like this isn't just open for people who are coming out of college and now they're looking at universities and they're thinking, oh, I'll go get a job and I'll go down that route. This is also open for people who are working 9 to 5, who've been working for a while, who predominantly maybe don't hate their job, they're happy doing the 9 to 5, but also open up their mind because, like I said, it's not about just like creating wealth just for yourself. We here in Luton, we're a community, so we want everyone to do well. Do you know what I mean? So like people who are doing real estate, who've got houses after houses after houses, maybe a better way to invest your money, maybe a quicker return, maybe a safer way to do it. Especially like we're in a recession, it's all like recession-proof streams of income. Like it's open to everybody. That's what I'd
Mhm.
say.
Great. So, really appreciate your time for coming on.
No, thank you.
And I look forward to doing a follow up interview in maybe 6 months to see how your private label has scaled. And
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
probably show you my cars then as well.
Great. Okay. So, wish you all the best and goodbye.